Hey, Kat, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling me from today?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. What's the weather like over there?
It's not really that good. Like
Oh
50.
man, I got like 70 degrees, so I'm loving it right now, which we never get.
Yeah, it
So
was
I'm
like
loving
90 last week here, but I'm about to
it.
move to Texas, so I'm okay with the lower temperature right now.
What part of Texas are you moving to?
Like the outskirts of Houston, Katy.
Okay, very cool. What's got you moving?
I have two older sons who are there, and I'm gonna go be near them.
I like it. Cool. So let's start the call off by you telling me a little about yourself, really where you're currently at. I read a little bit of your notes. Pretty exciting about this call because you've got a lot going on. So if you want to kind of go more in depth on your journey, I'd love to hear about it.
Um, for what part? Because I have a health coaching business and I'm a personal trainer and do like a lot of other things. I'm do like herbalism and astrology reading and human design stuff for my clients to help them figure out how they can like best eat and best exercise based on those other things.
Okay.
Um, but I really want to focus on like cyclical training for women based on their hormones of their menstrual cycle, because that is something that really effed me over by not doing that like in my 20s. And it really set me up for like being super depleted during pregnancy and postpartum and not having the right nutrition because I was training like a dude, and that's not appropriate for women. And like the research is not done on women, so like nobody knows that, or women don't know that when they enter into training programs. And a lot of, I mean, I don't know where you're certified, but like NASM doesn't teach you anything.
Yeah, that's a lot of certifications.
But like none of the certifications like teach you anything about like the physiology of the differences between women's and men's bodies. So like I want to work with women who want to get fit but also maintain their hormones.
I love that. I wish I would have met you a year ago. My wife went through that. She did a show and it completely, we knew that it was going to have some hormonal effects, right? Just like getting into a show, but after even reverse dieting, completely crashed her system. And we're talking about a year and a half worth of work just to get it back to like normal levels. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
it's awful for like your menstrual cycle, and just even the fact that people think that you like your menstrual cycle is a bother when it's really like your fifth vital sign, like an overall marker of like health and vitality, is it's jeopardizing a lot of young women's ability to conceive and carry babies, and if they're not ovulating and menstruating and all of the things. And like there's so many toxins that we're exposed to from a lot of supplements that you would take like during a bulk and cut, and those are also interfering. Like there's so many layers and nuance to it, and that's the shit that I love.
yeah, I can tell.
Where I thrive is like intentional detox, not like a liver cleanse, but like intentional, like 6 to 8 to 12 month long protocols of like removing all that crap to help women so they can like have babies. That's like my niche with my health coaching business, um, and repairing hormones. But I really want to add in like the training aspect, because a lot of my clients have come from a really depleted point and have put on a lot of weight and they're not happy with themselves. And we get them to the point where they're able to tolerate exercise and then work with their metabolism by building muscle so that they can optimize their hormones and metabolism without tanking their hormones and falling into that trap.
Very cool. So how long have you had your health coaching business?
3 years almost.
Beautiful. Okay. Now, are you fully just only online or are you doing a little bit of in person as well?
I was actually fully in person until September of this year, and now I'm only online. But I haven't really been like seeking out clients because I moved across the country and didn't really like catch my bearings. And now I'm moving again. So like to put roots down to get in-person clients is, I don't want to do that right now. I would like to go fully online. I hate in-person training. It's really annoying. But yeah,
Yeah. How many clients do you have online currently?
like 10.
Okay. And what are you charging right now?
I'm only doing one-off sessions. So like the initial consult is 175 and then follow-ups are like every 3 to 6 weeks for $75.
If you
And
see me
then
looking,
like whatever they buy on top of that, like labs and supplements and like hormone testing, all of those things are additional, which generate revenue, like based on commissions or just like wholesale cost discrepancy between retail. But I mean, that's maybe an extra $1,000 a month.
cool. So who are you going through like supplementation with? Like who are you kind of running those that your supplements through?
I have access to like pharmaceutical grade supplement dispensaries, so I don't use like any of the big names with lots of fillers and crap and bullshit in their stuff. So
Right.
I'm not like you know, pushing the test boosters and all that crap.
For sure. For
Um,
sure. There's just a guy that preaches a lot of the similar stuff. He's very well known on Instagram, Vince Pipstick. I know that he has you need to check him out on Instagram. You'll love his content because it's a highly resonates with exactly what what your goals are, what you're trying to do for your clients. So
cool.
a lot of holistic approaches, talks a lot about detoxifications, talks a ton about like PCOS, those type of things, like a lot of stuff. So make sure that you follow him on Instagram. Tons. He's a genius.
Sweet.
But he has his own type of supplementation grade stuff as well. And it's been proven to like gyms that I've worked at before in the past, like private gyms. We've had some trainers that like really utilize that stuff and was able to like reverse hormonal issues for men and women. So definitely want to make sure you check him out.
Cool.
Cool. So what do you feel like is the biggest challenge to like get you to really where you want to be?
Okay. Systems and like having my stuff all like either streamlined or in one place, or like I don't want to put any offer out because I can't handle the volume if it comes, you know? I'm like holding myself
100%.
back there because I don't want to be like, well, here's what I do, but I don't really have any way to work with you because I don't have my shit together.
Right. I get that 100%. Cool. What do you need to be, like, what's our goal that we're trying to make? Like currently right now, I know you've got the supplements that kind of help with about 1,000, you said, per month. What are you making combined with everything with your online business right now?
Um, Probably a few, like 3,000 a month.
Okay. And where would we like to be seeing ourselves making?
Okay, so that's 3,000 a month. Gross, I would say. I took like a technical loss last year. No, not last year. The year before last. This year I net like $500 per the IRS, with all the write-offs and everything. So I would like to net $10,000 a month after everything, like tech and ads and like all of that.
Beautiful. Cool. I like that. So very realistic. Okay. So industry averages for online coaching, you got to remember how much value that you're bringing as well. So very low end, 250 per month, all the way up to 500 per month for online training. Okay. So let's just say you're charging right around $400 per client on average. You got, let's say 25 clients will get you that 10K that you're looking for, right? Think about all the things that you're doing, all the specializations. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to charge that. People would not even blink an eye based upon your expertise, right? Do you have any other specific certifications that go along with like your niches and things like that? Like, I know that you mentioned you have, is that right? You have an ASM?
Yeah, an integrative health practitioner. So I can like program nutrition, and I like to do that cyclically based on hormones because there is different things you should be eating at different times of the month and different macros that your body needs and micros. But so that is one of the elements that I definitely want to have in my offering for women is nutrition.
Yep.
Obviously supplementation, but the integrative health practitioner is like, that has a lot of functional, holistic. There's so much that I learned, like functional lab testing and whatnot.
Yeah, so there's zero reason why you should be able to hike those prices up based on everything that you're offering, right? There's going to be certain things you can add as additional, like being able to get someone the right type of lab test is huge. A lot of people don't even know where to go. And then if you're able to get them at, like, they go through you, I'm assuming there's some type of like discount code or something that you could, that you're allowing them to utilize. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, I get the labs at wholesale cost, like the Dutch test or a hair
Yep.
tissue mineral analysis, any like GI maps, to like anything like that, I would get at my cost. So then I would just mark it up to less than I suppose the MSRP, which there's not necessarily an MSRP, but in terms of like blood chemistry labs, like your CBC, your CMP, that's just like the LabCorp cost. And I get that at very inexpensive also. And I just
Yeah.
like send the client a lab requisition. They go to LabCorp, get their labs drawn, and I get the results. So the issue, I guess, with that is not the issue, but I would have to charge more than the lab is valued at, because the time that it takes me to look over and make recommendations
Yep.
is a lot. I mean, not
Yep.
a lot, but it's more than what it would be just to not do it.
100%. So there's a lot of ways that we could market this because you're adding so many different services that no one else is doing, right? So like very rare commodity on like what you're doing, especially when we're dealing with like the woman's body, and then very specific supplementation, very specific nutrition. Did you already mention that you're also doing specific programming as well, workout programming based upon
Yeah.
the individual's needs?
Yeah.
There's
And that's what I'm like really working on right now is is that, because I don't know how to structure the offer. I don't want to work with somebody just for a month. I don't really want to work with them for 3 months. I would like at least 6 months so that we can work at least 2 12-week training blocks for the best results.
So that's how we structure it right there. You're going to give them a specific reason when they do a consultation. You don't negotiate what it is that you're serving. You're trying to tell them like the benefits of why this is. If you can explain, if someone has a pain point and they've had it for a long period of time, like if you would have talked to my wife a year and a half ago, zero blinking. If she feels like you can solve her problem, she would do anything to have that problem solved. And she understands it's going to be a long-term process. That's the thing that most people, we live in a society where they want a pill and they want it to happen within 2 to 3 weeks. That's not realistic. If we want something long-term sustainable and we actually want to feel good, people are willing to spend or invest anything it takes in order for them to feel significantly better than versus being constantly depleted, right? So if you're like, hey, I have 2 offers, it says 6 and 12 months. These are the reasons why. This is what you're getting. And you have a lengthy list of everything that you're doing, detailed order with what you just told me, I'm already sold, right? So it doesn't need to be a month to month. So for instance, I'm not at all doing what you do, right? I used to be working with only athletes, but then I also realized athletes have no money unless you've made it pro, right? So I'm working with the general population. I don't do 3, 6, 9, 12. I do 4, 8, 12. That's your only options. I keep it very simple and I don't negotiate on that. So
months, 4, 8, and 12 months, or 4, 8, and 12 weeks?
4, 8, 12 months. That's all they get. So I don't want to work with someone that wants to look good for the beach for their vacation and then go off to messing around again. I want people that are going to be committed to this. So I always say the people I interview, I want them to have the 3 C's. I want commitment, coachability, and they got to be consistent. So this does 2 things for each of us. One, it gets them, we establish a legitimate relationship, a bond. We learn to trust one another, but more importantly, I help them actually develop lifestyle changes versus just a quick fix. I'm not in the business of quick fixes. So I'll say, hey, fully get that you don't want to invest in long periods of time, but if that's the case and you're only going based off of price, then you're sacrificing a lot of quality. Honestly, this is probably not going to be a good fit for us. So if you want someone that's just willing to do the bare minimum, I can provide you names if that's what you're looking for. But if you actually want to perform at optimal levels, whether that be work, personal relationships, whatever the case may be, it's going to take some time. It's taking you X amount of time for you to get to the current state you're in. It's going to take twice as long just to reverse it, right?
Exactly.
So if you break it down to them in to a point to which they can understand you're speaking their language, they're not going to flinch on that price. Now, each price, each tier, so from 4 to 8, the prices drop a little bit because it incentivizes them to stay with me longer, which is great because they see a smaller number, but I'm actually getting paid a lot more over a longer length of time. So now I'll just tell you like this, 95% of my clients are doing 8 months. Okay, so I have them, so essentially how I have it structured, my 4-month program, monthly is equivalent to $450 per month. Okay, my 8-month is equivalent to $375 per month, and my 12-month is equivalent to $350. Everybody, almost everyone's doing 8 or 12. I have like maybe 3 people on a 4-month program. So now I got them dialed in for 8 months. What happens there now is not only do we have a relationship, we have weekly check-ins, we do all that stuff, but now they feel as if we're friends. It's harder to say no to a friend versus just someone you don't have any type of relationship with. So by the time their 8-month is coming around the corner, let's say about a month out, I'm already giving them insight based upon their progressions and what we talked about, what the next steps are going to be. So we don't even talk about, do you want to sign up again? Hey, this is what we're going to do next. Are we still in alignment? Great. And since you're going to go ahead and sign up again, then I'll take a percentage off or give them an extra month of coaching for free, something like that. So you just have to figure out a way that you're going to be separating yourself, which you've done a phenomenal job with just alone the education that you have. So for someone like me, everyone does macros. Everyone knows how to build a healthy plate. Everyone does programming. The thing that separates me from somebody else is my programming is vastly different. So I do like specific tempos, rep ranges, weekly intensifiers, and I break it down based upon how their body's reacting to that. So a lot of programs will do it. Here's an 8-week program, just follow it. I'm adding something different every 2 weeks. And basically I'll do like a Loom recording, I do Zoom check-ins, and I do nutrition. I can't do the type of nutrition you do because I'm not a registered nutritionist. So I can only give recommendations, right? But I provide so many different options and so many touch points with me, they don't blink twice at the price. And then obviously my credentials. So I'm a speed and agility specialist. I'm a master level trainer. I'm a men's IPE pro. So I have these things that qualify me to say, hey, this is why I'm charging it. And this is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to move forward. Same thing with you. You've got a phenomenal marketing thing that we can easily play with to where they wouldn't blink twice about that. Like your price is nothing less than 400, like with what you're offering. Cool.
Yeah.
How are we feeling so?
Just it's overwhelming to think about writing that with that amount of like specificity for each person. 25 people, like that's a lot. And and like assessing their menstrual cycles and all of those, like I guess the issue with online versus in person is like assessments and like figuring out, which is why I want a 6-month time, is like to figure out what like their level of actual strength is, like so I can base their training off of those, like their 1 rep max. Like we're not going to know that right off the bat. We're not going to know that if they're on their menstrual cycle. We're not going to know that for another 3 weeks until like for that period of time. So it's like that's a lot of fine details to think about doing for 25 people. But also I need to make money, so
100%. 100%. But the way that you leverage that is literally say, hey, the reason this is this, and you give them a timeline. So yes, it's either 6 or 12, but for month 1 through 3, or from day 1 to having a baseline from this to this, right? We're going to be checking your menstrual cycle, the patterns of that. We're going to be checking your strength. We're going to be testing your body mechanics, how you move, how certain things affect your body, right? And then months 90 from 180, you're giving them a breakdown of, you're basically painting them a picture of exactly why you're doing what you're doing in the timeframes that you're doing it in. So they won't even think twice about it. Especially if a woman's had these issues for a long time, you have something that they've been waiting for that rarely anybody else has. So that's easy to market it that in such a way, especially if you're also sharing your own testimony, then you have other people that we can utilize as well, which we'll get into here in a second. Cool.
Yeah. My elevator pitch, I guess, is for just overall was like helping burned out moms balance their hormones and optimize their metabolism to get fit. Because a lot of them like want to lose weight, or they've had babies and they can't lose weight, or they've tried every freaking yo-yo diet after they've had babies and fuck themselves over that way too. And like, there's just so many levels, there's so many entry points to fixing that for these people, because they have just messed everything up so badly. It's actually really easy because most of the people that I get are not doing everything right. they're not doing anything right. So they see progress really quickly by making small shifts. So like it can stretch out to where we could work together for at least 12 months and still not be flipping our ace cards or like having to go there.
And that's what we're going to be slowly inserting in different points of conversation. Like, hey, we're moving in the right direction for here, here, and here, but we're still not quite at those optimal levels that we're looking for. And so if you're kind of giving them, hey, we are making some progress, but it's going to take quite some time. We're dealing with hormones. It's not just a quick fix, right? Other thing, outside of, we want to hit that 10K a month, right? What do you feel like, outside of also helping women, what do you feel like online coaching is going to do specifically for you? Are we looking for like more flexibility, more financial freedom? What is it that you're looking for individually wise?
Yeah, that time and location freedom. And I think location freedom is also like based on financial freedom, because you know, you kind of have to be able to get to those places and stay like where you want to be. I have 5 kids, so I would like to be able to homeschool them, because I don't know, Texas might be all right, but we just came from Seattle and the schools there are garbage.
What are the age ranges for your kiddos?
13, 10, 7, 5, and 3.
I've got 3 kids too, and the youngest is 7, our oldest is 13. Everyone else is right in the middle. So yeah, so we can save some money. If you're able to homeschool, saves a lot on costs as well, things of that nature. Now, you said financial freedom, location freedom. Everyone's definition is a little bit different. What does financial freedom look and feel like to you?
Well, the financial freedom honestly probably is more than 10K a month, but just like not having to worry about what I buy at the grocery store, so that I can feed my family well, and like easily afford a mortgage or rent or whatever I decide to do there. Vacation, like to be able to spend my money and time how I want to. Like I don't want like a yacht or anything, but I want to be able to, if I want to go take a trip, to be able to go do that, or go take my kids wherever, like a water park, like that can be expensive when you have 5 of them.
Oh, yes.
So like just to be able to do that without having to be like, well, I don't know what's going to have to get sacrificed.
So right now it sounds like we are having to sacrifice here and there for, the greater good, right? Figuring out which is going to be a priority for us, but we want to get to the point where we don't even have to think. You want it, we can do that. Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. So I just got divorced 2 years ago and have been like living off the equity of my house. So I need to make money now to be able to provide for myself and my kids.
So this is like easily a level 10 of priority for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
You're the second business coach I'm talking to today.
I like it.
We've got a fire under my ass right now.
You're doing your due diligence. If you don't mind me asking, who'd you talk with?
Wellness Business Hub.
Okay.
Lori Kennedy.
Okay. Cool.
Which, I mean, that's like kind of for a different thing, it's to create a course versus to be an online coach.
Yep. So this is actually going to do us 2 things. For one, if you, for instance, ever wanted to do a little bit of in-person, I know that we're trying to get away from that, but if there's a couple people that you just enjoy, I was an in-person trainer for over 15 years, like a hybrid. So what I'd do is I would have quite a few in-person, but I'd break it down to like maybe 10 really high ticket clients, because obviously you can charge significantly more in person. I was charging like $150 per session. And then the rest of the ones that you don't so much enjoy and you want to create more impact and get more time, that's where online would come in. But what this is going to allow us to do is impact a lot more people and bring more people to you. We can also do it to where it's not only just teaching you how to be an online coach, but it's also teaching you how to raise and scale an effective online business. So eventually we can start, passing the buck off to someone else on things that we don't necessarily want to do. So we can focus more on like the fun stuff, such as the client delivery, such as marketing, things of that nature, which we're going to go over here very shortly. So it's going to do a lot of things for you. Cool. What do you feel like you need from like a business coach to be successful?
I mean, I guess to figure out how and what systems to use, but I feel like I just literally need like a adult babysitter to like stand here and tell me like keep going, do this next, do this next, like because if it were up to me, like I would just fuck off all day. And that's not where I need to be right now. And I know it. And I know, and then I get so like much pressure on myself because I've been like spinning my wheels for so long that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this now. And then I'm like, I don't even know what to do. So what am I gonna do? There's so many things I could do. I don't know what order to do them in to make the most impact, to be the most efficient, to, that's the problem, is like figuring out what to do when in the right order.
You're in luck. So if this is something that we decide feels like alignment for you, we actually have a one-on-one coach that's going to be designated to you. This would be an individual who has been through multiple avenues of our courses and has a 6 or 7 figure business based off of our information. So there's someone there that you'll have 24/5 tech support. You'll also have biweekly phone calls with, so you can ask as many questions as you like. We even have online support as well. So outside of those calls, we have private Facebook groups that you can ask questions to, and you're getting a plethora of responses. So you get to see different perspectives as well. So support and attention is going to be not a thing for you. That's going to be easily taken care of. But more importantly, they're going to keep you accountable in which the way that you like. So everyone has different learning style. Me, I'm very black and white. I like someone to say, hey, you suck at this, go do it. I don't get my feelings in my feelings. I'm just do it. Some people are like, hey, you're doing really good, but we could focus more on this area. So whatever your learning style is, we accommodate that. Okay. Sound good so far? Cool. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna go over a brief presentation, and then we're gonna dive into everything in LCA. Okay. After the presentation, if you feel very strongly about this, we can talk about possible next steps. If not, no big deal. I'll send you off with some free resources. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me know when you can see my screen and we'll have a little fun.
All right. I can see it.
Awesome. So as you know, with the Next Level Coaching Academy, we're actually accredited through the Better Business Bureau. So we got a rating of an A out of a possible A+, which is a pretty big deal when people are trying to figure out who's legit and who's not. We're also backed by 3 of the largest providers in the fitness network, so ACE, NASM, and ISSA. As far as the success ladder goes, we have 2 tiers. We have certified coach, we've got mastery level. Certified coach is great for an individual such as yourself who's been coaching, has their certifications, but they want to create more of an online presence. The information in this course can get you from 0 up to 20K per month, if so desired. Mastery levels for those that have been coaching for quite some time, they're already at that 20K mark threshold. They're looking to scale to 7 figures, kind of removing themselves from the coaching aspect and becoming more of a CEO of their own program, if that makes sense. So really where we're currently at, I know that you had mentioned we're just trying to figure out where to get started, really. We're going to really focus on certified coach. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, the program itself is going to be 6 months long. Our main focal point is to get you a successful, thriving business off the ground. But more importantly, we're going to help you become a marketing guru. So we make sure we attract the right type of clients. So we have predictable data, we have sustainable income. And more importantly, we can also teach you how to make your first couple of hires so we can scale to those larger numbers, such as the 10, 15, 20K marks. Okay. As far as the support goes, you're going to have an assigned one-on-one coach. As mentioned earlier, this is someone who has completed both certified and mastery level. So they've been through it all. They know exactly what it's going to take for you to reach certain levels of success. You'll have a game planning call with that individual to really review what's the most optimal way to get you to your goal in the most efficient way possible. And every 2 weeks, you'll have Zoom calls very similar to this to revisit the game plan, make any necessary changes, receive feedback, and they'll give you very specific instructions on what you need to execute for the upcoming weeks. So there's zero guesswork there. 5 times a week of group support calls that accommodate a 9 to 5. This will go over client objection, client delivery, mindset issues, marketing, you name it, we deep dive into it every single week. 24/5 tech support with your coach outside of those game planning calls and those weekly calls. So again, you can ask as many questions as you like to make sure that you're still on pace. They're there for it, okay? We also understand that becoming an entrepreneur is exciting, but it's also extremely stressful. So we help with mindset calls. We do breath work and meditation sessions, which we call the Zenpreneur method, to make sure you're in a good headspace to move forward with your business. As far as the resources go, you're going to have that certified coach course curriculum. You'll have that Zenpreneur method we just got done discussing. We'll give you agency outsourcing options when you're ready to make specific changes or hires to your business. And then we do offer an optional online certification, which you won't need because you're already handled there. Any questions on that so far?
No.
Cool.
Oh, wait, yes. I mean, this is kind of a question that's not super relevant, but like when you hire somebody, when you're scaling, like what is like the split there generally?
We're going to go over all that for you here in a second. So you're ahead of me a little bit. We're going to go into that. Cool?
Okay.
All right. So there's going to be a total of 59 modules. Each module will have an overview link that you can read. It'll also be associated with videos. The first thing that we really want to focus in on how to get your first client with us in the first 21 days or less. Right now, 73% of our students get their client month one on average. It's taking them 1 week. Again, this is what we call our activation point. So the ones that get their first client month one, by the end of month four, are averaging 8K per month. Now, the individuals that don't get their client by month one, but by the end of month four, they're averaging 6,500. So if you're an average mediocre person, you can expect to make 6,500 to 8K per month. Pretty good numbers, just to be average. Certified Coach Directory, I want you to view this as onboarding material that'll help you become a better student. It shows you how to maximize the program. The success roadmap is pretty awesome. It shows you in 5K increments what you need to execute to get to certain levels of achievement. So from 0 to 5K, what do I need to execute? 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. Zero guesswork there. You'll always know what's expected of you. I'm going to skip over the certification aspect because you're solid there. Then we move into the mindset and lifestyle module. Just want to ensure you're in a good headspace to move forward. We understand that like fear of failure, anxiety, imposter syndrome are all natural, normal feelings, but how can we move forward? We've also identified the top 10 struggles that fitness entrepreneurs face, but we've provided solutions to that. Target setting, we're going to create your 3-year vision, your 1-year vision, your 3-month vision. We're going to deep dive into your goals. Administration systems will be all the software you need to run from home. So I'm not sure how far along you've got with this, but we have waivers, Stripe to collect payments, DocuSign for client agreements, Typeform accounting to book calls. We even have applications you can upload all your nutrition, all your programming. To give you an example of the overview for each module, you just click on one of these. This will load up in like tutorial style, like a written tutorial style overview. So I'll show you exactly what you need to do.
You guys use True Coach?
Yep, we do. We're actually partnered with them. So if you decide to move forward with that, we actually have the first month is for free. A lot of people will use Trainerize. We just make suggestions on what we feel like would be the top recommendations.
I like True Coach. I've used True Coach before. They use that at the Barbell Logic. I
Okay.
took their course too.
Awesome.
And that is what they use. I really like it. Right now I'm using PT Hub, my PT Hub, I think.
Okay.
And it's I don't know. I don't have any more experience, I guess, than those two, but it's cheaper.
Yep. So what I tell people, like right now, you mentioned you had, what did you put down here? Trying to find out how many clients. Oh, you have 10 clients. So for me, when I did my personal business, I have to be total truth first. I didn't use any of these things. I didn't use Trainerize, True Coach, any of that until I was like about 20 to 25 clients on my roster. Because otherwise I was just spending monthly for something I could easily do on like Google Sheets. So I'm very cheap. I want to save coin as much as possible. So I only made that move when it started becoming, it made sense for my business. So anything over 25 clients, and that it started getting overwhelming. I wanted something that I could easily pump out right away. But that could be an option for you until you start like really building up the clientele that you want. Because what I found is a lot of people, they do check their email a lot. It didn't even have an effect on my business. And then when I was ready to scale to a specific app, I'd say, hey, I just upgraded my program, no additional fee, but I've added this application, which allows you to do A, B, and C, and this is what we're going to be using moving forward. So that's what I did with my clients. So if you want to save a little bit until you have to make that move, you totally could. But these what you've already using are great suggestions as well. Do you get your LLC set up or anything? How's your financial systems?
I mean, I have my business license and my like IRS tax ID, everything set up, but in terms of like keeping track of things, I just at the end of the year print out all my bank statements and then I put it in an Excel sheet, but probably should do that more frequently than once a year.
Absolutely. So we're actually going to teach you how to do all that. So this is where a lot of people struggle out when they're first coming into business. We help set up your LLC. We help you get your employment identification number. We help you decide when to open a business bank account.
I have all that.
Got it. You're solid there. Cool.
Yeah.
Love
just
that.
Not the like QuickBooks. I don't use that. I should probably use that.
Yep. So we have a that last module actually show you how to maximize QuickBooks and make it really easy for you. Identifying your ideal challenge, you already know what that is. This is basically the problem that you want to solve for individuals. So you're solid here. But now that we figured that out, the next thing that we really need to adjust is the pricing. So really, again, going over understanding like how much value you bring, and you bring a ton. Okay. Is this going to be a more do it for you, do it yourself type of program? The more that you do for individuals, the higher that ticket offer is, which will be established upon your length of terms. So we actually help create your high ticket offers. We help with the structure of your pricing, and we teach you when to create downsells and discounts as well. Okay, so you've got a lot that you offer. We want to figure out how we can package that into like one nice thing, or say, for instance, someone couldn't afford it. What would be the one thing that they would have to have from your program that you'd want them to utilize before moving forward to you? That's what we could use as a downsell. Okay. From there, marketing overview, a lot of people struggle with this as well. We're going to give you 8 different lessons to really maximize your marketing capabilities, because we're going to show you how to market for all things Instagram related. Okay.
What about if your Instagram, my business Instagram says I can't run ads, and I didn't do anything that I'm aware of, but then I click the button to say request a review, and they told me I've requested too many reviews, but they never gave me an answer on what, like, I didn't ever get any, like, why it's whatever. Do I need to be able to run ads on Instagram to be effective here?
Yeah, you know what? You'll run ads, but you won't. We don't recommend running ads until you're hitting about 8K per month. Otherwise, you're just wasting money, because we want to make sure your systems and all your processes are in place so you have a smooth, efficient way to handle those leads. And more importantly, we want to make sure we're having like continuous revenue to support those ads that are coming in. So after a point in time, you really won't need to be doing a lot of DMing or inboxing, because you're going to have so many leads. And once we start running ads, that's when your business starts taking off to the next level. That's how you get to be known internationally, which we're going to go over here in a second for you. So we're going to show you how to do for all things Instagram related. We'll show you how to market for all things Facebook related as well. And we'll even show you how to market for all things TikTok. Okay. So there's more to it than just like random posting or making a certain amount of reels, right? There's very specific strategies in place that we implement. You don't have to use all 3. You can use one, you can use 2. For instance, I don't use TikTok because the people that I market to, I sure as hell, hopefully they're not hanging out on TikTok. So I market to men 35 to 50 that are high level executives. Most of those type of guys usually aren't hanging out on TikTok. So a lot of my business
I don't really
comes
want
from
to use TikTok because like I just like have some thoughts about TikTok. I'm
yeah,
sure.
you don't have to, but it's there for you if you'd like to.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Canva?
Yeah, I have Canva. I use Canva.
Beautiful. So we have a whole module set on how to maximize that to its fullest. Next, we're going to move into lead generation. This is what's going to help you get a lot more clients. We believe there are 6 different ways to do so. The first of which is what we call earned media. We're going to give you 11 strategies to bring more people specifically to you. Get them intrigued, interested, and reach out to you. Next is conversation or calls. Young people call this in the DMs. This is you reaching out to them first. This is DMing, outbound marketing. Okay, so we'll give you specific scripts. We're going to give you conversation or call examples, but more importantly, we're going to show you where to find all these leads on all 3 platforms and how to build and nurture these relationships. Now, I think it's important to note, a lot of people don't think about this, but outbound marketing is not just DMing, getting known in your local community. So say, for instance, once you get established in Texas, you have a name for yourself, go out there and start networking. So for instance, my wife is in healthcare. So I go speaking, I do like 3 seminars. I'll get a hold of CEOs and I'll show how I can optimize their employees' health and wellness. And I get like 10 to 15 referrals every time I go speak. Okay, because healthcare workers, they're some of the most unhealthiest people. So it's a really easy way for me to get in the door. But being local and people being able to see you and feel your type of energy and kind of ask you questions in person, like, really helps out quite a bit and helps you scale your business.
I just feel like maybe I'm perhaps not cut out for that.
Yep, you don't have to, but I just want you to think about maximizing every way possible to get your name out there.
Like, I feel like I want to be online because like I actually don't really like people. Like I don't want to be near them in person for an hour for sure.
Well, then yes, we'll think of different strategies for you since you don't like being around people. Totally get that. Next, referral strategy. This is going to be the easiest way to grow your business. Friends, families, coworkers, ex-clients, talking about how amazing you are and what you've done for them. So we're going to give you 6 different lessons to incentivize more people to bring you more referrals. Now, when you're hitting about 6K per month on a regular basis, we're going to teach you how to bring on an appointment setter. This will be the individual that does all of your DMing for you and booking all of your calls. So we'll show you how to hire them. We'll show you how to manage them on a day-to-day basis. We'll even give you
like a virtual assistant. Like, would you hire them as a virtual assistant, or?
This can be completely different. So for instance, a virtual assistant is going to be doing more of the back-end administration work. This person is literally just designated to do your DMing for you. And they book all your calls. So for instance, you can hire this professional DMers. What I did was truth first, you could probably do this with your 13-year-old, get them like really accustomed to like your tonality. I hired a high school kid and I paid them about $15 an hour, a couple days out the week. I gave them specific scripts to follow and they did all my DMing for me. So it's something I didn't have to do.
Okay.
So once they book calls, I was ready to go. But you can use a DM, like you don't have to do this because once you hit, this is something that does save you. This saves you about 10 to 15 hours per week alone, though, if you were to hire a DMer. So we show you exactly how to manage them on a day-to-day basis.
But like I'm still concerned about my business Instagram being all jacked up. Like, do I need to start a new one? What do I do?
So I wouldn't start a new one. It's hard for me to tell you what to do without actually seeing it or having access to it.
There's just no way to get in touch with anybody in like at Meta or whatever.
Did you make it into a business account?
Yeah.
Okay. I would probably maybe reach out to Instagram, like they have some type of like customer service. How many followers do you have currently right now?
Not very many. Like
you don't have to have a whole lot.
250.
What you said? How many?
Like 250.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something that you could probably create like maybe like another one and see if it would allow you to open that up and then just have those people follow you if that allows it. Otherwise, I'd just like contact like a customer support person, let them know what you're trying to do. But this is where you're going to start running ads. When you're hitting about 8 to 10K per month on a regular basis, this is when we decide to start running ads. Okay. So we'll show you how to run ads on Facebook and Instagram to get the most potential out of those. And then from there, we moved into owned media. So this is all things email or subscription-based marketing. So think of like Facebook, YouTube, podcasts, anything that involves an email or subscription. We're going to show you how to maximize this. Okay. From there, we have certified coach affiliate strategy. At this point in time, you'd have quite a few clients, but you're going to have a handful that you consider like your rock star A+ students that are just killing it, right? So we want to use them as brand ambassadors to talk about the testimonials they got from you. We also want them to post on their social media about you to bring in more brand awareness. Another example, I'm partnered with a local supplement company here. So I'll have my clients on specific supplementation. That supplementation company gives me 30 referrals and discounts a month because they see I'm supporting their business. So it's an easy way for me to get hot leads at all points in time. Sales overview and fundamentals. A lot of people struggle with sales. We're going to give you 10 different lessons to really maximize your sales capabilities. So we're going to set up 2 types of phone calls. The first is what we call a meet and greet. It's a 10 to 15 minute phone call to figure out, do you really want to work with this person? Can you actually solve their problems? Okay. So we'll give you specific confirmation processes and show rate protocols and real-time examples with our coach, which will lead us to the closing call. That's the sales call. You're trying to lock down the lead in front of you. You're doing a lot of objection handling here. We'll give you specific scripts. We'll give you we'll give you our entire objection handling web. We also teach you when to create downsells and discounts. Financing options will be a game changer for your business. Allowing people to get into your program who normally couldn't afford it, complete game changer for you. And then we have follow-up procedures and really show you how to lock down that lead for good. From there, once you make the sale, we want to track your progress. We want to make sure there's predictable data every single month. So sales tracking basics. We're going to give you resources in order to track that. Onboarding process is that weird lag time, like it's a transition from the sales call to now that your clients. So you got their money, you're building out their program. What happens in the meantime while they're waiting? You need to make sure this is a really special moment for them. There's no buyer's remorse. It's like their first 30 days in your program. Client delivery, you know all about this, the week-to-week process and how you deliver services. So making sure that everything's smooth, efficient, easy to understand. This will be massive for you, especially with what you're doing with women, creating a customized roadmap for each individual based upon their unique needs. And then also understanding how many people you can manage without feeling overwhelmed. So if you're like a one-woman show, industry averages anywhere between like 30 to 55 clients. After that, you're really going to want to start probably bringing on an assistant coach because it's going to start getting overwhelming at one point in time. So
I feel like I don't necessarily need to have more clients than that.
Cool.
I don't know. Like I just, for as much of a control freak as I am, probably don't want to, it would be a lot to train somebody to know what I know and then have them be able to program effectively without me just doing it myself.
100%. So there's 2 things to that. One, if you know for sure that there's a specific clientele number that you want, great, stick to that. right? But if you want to scale it up higher, you want to go based upon like what your goals are for your life. So for instance, everybody wants to make 20 to 50K a month. Like I see it everywhere, right? I was making extremely great money as an in-person and online trainer. However, I didn't want a massive business. I wanted to travel with my kids and I wanted to do what I want when the fuck I want without asking any permission. So for me and my family, I'm great at averaging 15K per month. That's like my sweet spot. I don't have to bring on anybody else. I don't have to do anything. I have like one assistant coach. I don't even have a DMer anymore. Like I don't need it. So for me, could I scale more? Yes, but that means more responsibility. I don't want that. I want to have something to where matches my lifestyle.
I
So
think
figure
that's
out
where
what
I'm at for sure.
beautiful. So
Great in
knowing
business
that,
for now.
yep. So let's just say, for instance, you had, my math is awful. Let's just say you had 40 clients of your own. You're charging right around 400 per month on a regular basis. That's 16,000 right there. 16,000 a month. Pretty damn good money, right? Doing what you love to do, impacting people, giving you that financial freedom, but more importantly, allowing you to do vacations and do whatever the fuck you want with your kids when you want it without asking permission.
And then how do you like, I guess, never mind. You'll have a sales call. And if you don't have any openings, then you don't have any openings and they can't work with you.
100%. So someone that'd be a great way for you, specifically you, to build urgency. So, hey, right now I have 5 spots open for this type of woman, right? Typically my spots last, whatever the average is, 1 to 2 weeks. Book now for a call. Once fully booked, I will not be accepting any more clients until further notice. That allows people, natural human reaction is people want what they can't have. If you're saying is there's a limited time I can get it, I fucking want that, right? So the cool thing about this is people will book calls thinking that they're interviewing you. Really, you're interviewing them. I can't tell you how many people I've turned down from my coaching program that I could easily get their money. I just didn't want to work with them. I didn't feel like it was going to be a good fit. So for me, if I feel like they're not going to be committed or consistent to the program, I will say, you know what, honestly, after reviewing everything, I think that you'd probably be more suited for, someone different. This is what I, that I want. And you mentioned here, here, and here, this is what you don't want to do. I'm not going to be the ideal fit for you. I'd hate to lead you down the wrong road because for one, I know whoever I take onto my program, they are a walking billboard for me. And I'm really good at business and I don't want my business fucked up because you couldn't follow through with what I laid out for you. So I have people on my program. I've cut 2 people in the last 6 months and I've had them for years. If they're not going to follow through with it, I don't want you using my name saying you're working with me. Because if you're not getting results, but you're bragging on me, people are like, well, I don't want to work with him. Look at that guy or look at that girl, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's like
So,
how I feel about everybody on the internet, like giving health advice or giving training. Like, I'm like, but you're obviously not practicing what you preach.
100%. Now there's a catch to that though, right? So like initially when you're getting with them, that's what they're paying you for. They're paying for you to coach them to get to those habits that you have instilled in your own self. So a lot of trainers will say, hey, I only want to work with people that are going to be dedicated and disciplined. Guess what? That's probably going to be about 20%. Okay, so that's what your scope of your job is, to get people to understand why this is so important. You're sharing a perspective, you're showing them an idea, and you're leading by example of what this looks like and the benefits that they can get. So you have to meet them where they're currently at and expect it's going to be a slow process, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I for sure get that. I'm saying with who I choose to work with as a trainer or something, like I wouldn't choose somebody who's 400 pounds and obviously doesn't go to the gym, but even if their education was like excellent, if you don't have the ability to follow through on what your education tells you, then you're not somebody I want to work with.
Right. And that's what you have, being an entrepreneur, you have full discrepancy on picking who and what you are willing to work with, what you're willing to negotiate with. So this is going to be, again, creating a lot of urgency for people to want to get to work with Kat, because she is a specialist in this particular realm. And let's be honest, there's not a lot of specialists that deal with metabolism, women's hormones, right? There's just not, right? So you have something very unique and rare that you have to offer someone. So this will also happen too, no matter how great of a trainer you are, your communication has to be on point. People, no matter how good they are or seem to be, they're going to ghost you. They're going to quit. They're not going to listen to your protocols. How do we get them to execute on a higher level? Oftentimes when they're kind of starting to go in this like floating off into space type of thing, they want to feel like they're a part of something more. They want more touch points. They want to feel like they're a part of a larger community. They want to be able to talk shit about your program with other people that you coach. They want to be a part of community. They want strategy. Some of them want to be incentivized just to do what's already expected of them. So sometimes getting someone a gift just to do the standards, it works. So we give you resources and strategies to get people back to optimizing at very high levels. From there, we have
It's just like high level manipulation.
Oh, to a degree, to a degree. We're just meeting people where they're at and where they're like mentally, like what they need to get them to over the hump. Okay. So for instance, like give you an example, I worked with this lady, she came to me in person, was like, I want to train with you. I was referred by so-and-so. I drink 8 Mountain Dews a day and I'm not going to stop. And I was like, cool. She's like, that's all you have to say? I'm like, absolutely cool. Whatever you want. And so I knew for sure, why talk her out of something that I know she's not going to give up. So I said, hey, the only thing that I would suggest is let's go from 8 to literally just doing 7. For the first 3 months, that's all we did. We didn't program specialized macros. She didn't want to hear it. So I said, let's get her exercising what she's never done. Let's get her down to 7 Mountain Dews a day versus 8. Guess what she did? It's called progression. She started losing weight off of just the basic shit. Now then she started stalling out. Said, let's take 7 and move it down to 5 Mountain Dews a day. That worked. Now she's like, okay, great. I'm willing to give up certain things, but I want to have pizza still. So she's like, I want you to program my nutrition. Guess what I did? I programmed pizza every damn night. So eventually she gets sick of that shit. Yeah, you get 3 pieces of pizza a night.
There you go.
Have fun with it. But I had other food in there that would like, meet her nutritional guidelines. But hey, this is where we're at. Cool. She's like, when can we get done with pizza? Thought you'd never ask. What else do you want on there? Right. So I worked with her and eventually over a year and a half later, she got to a point where she was ready to start tracking macros. So it went from taking small little changes to building a healthy plate to intuitive eating. Then it went to macros, and then she started seeing the benefits of everything. So I had to let her figure that part out on her own, but it was very small changes. If I would have pushed and said, you can't have, human nature is, I want what you're telling me I can't have. Right? So just doing that, working with them and building a friendship and showing empathy, it got her to where she needed to be. Was it a long fucking journey? Yes. But we got her there.
That sounds like hell. Sounds like absolute hell, and I would not want to be a part of it.
So it was whatever I had to do at that point in time to get her. She's a high-paying, high-ticket client. Training 3 times a week, $150 per session, and she's paying in full ahead of time.
But that's like the other part. I mean, I guess maybe she made progress, like you said, but like when I trained people in person for a while, like they'd come in, they'd do their 4 workouts a week, and they still wouldn't make any progress because they're still going home and drinking a case of beer and like eating shit because they think, well, I worked out, so I can. And that's frustrating too, because then they're mad at you because they can't control themselves or think
So
that
it's just reframing
exercise
those
is gonna solve their problems.
Yeah, so it's just reframing conversations. If you have that, like, hey, David, we've been working together now for 4 months. I've asked for weekly check-ins like multiple times. Like, where are we at? Because we're getting to the point now where I'm trying to figure out this is really going to be for you moving forward. Sometimes they need that kick in the ass. Like, you know what? I'm getting to the point now where we haven't, me and you both, when you signed up, we both signed an agreement. You signed up with me, but I basically, once I accepted you, said I would take you on as my personal responsibility. And right now, I feel like this relationship isn't 50-50 right now. I feel like it's more like 90-10. And I don't like feeling that way. So this is what I've noticed over the course of X, Y, and Z, right? Yes, you're hitting your workouts. That's awesome. I love that you're so committed to the gym, but the gym is just a very small percentage of what we really need to work on. You came to me saying you wanted to improve your cholesterol levels, or you want to get off X medications or whatever. Where are we at right now? We're not. Okay, so why do you feel like that is? If you're meeting me at the gym on the days I have you coming, where do you feel like we're falling short at? Are you checking in weekly? Yes or no questions? No. Okay, why is that? They have to, you're slowly making them take responsibility for their own actions. Okay, so if this continues down this road, where do you think you're going to be at in the next 6 months? Right? So You're giving them eye-awakening moments. You're not scolding them, but you're also building empathy. You're building relationship. And now all of that for those troubled people are going to lead you to massive amounts of referrals because they're like, wow, for once I'm dealing with a trainer that's not chewing my asshole off for eating a ding dong or a cupcake or whatever the case may be. They're meeting
And
me
I
where I'm.
actually don't really feel like I'll have this problem as much because my niche is more like
Oh,
health and holistic minded people who like know that using Tide detergent is bad for you, or like know that spraying Bath and Body Works shit all over your house is like there's a consequence. So like I actually feel like maybe that probably wouldn't be an issue. I just, when I was training in person and the clients that I were getting, like I was training at a YMCA and there was like a contract company that ran the trainers. And so that I just got like whoever,
yeah.
old people who like anybody. And that was just really frustrating. So
The
if
only
I have more say in who I take, then that will be different.
100%. The only frustrating thing that you might come into counter is, yes, people have this come to Jesus moment, but they know it's going to take 6 to 12 months to change some shit that's been fucked up with them for a long period of time. It's easy to be motivated for that first couple of weeks, but if they're not feeling it, it's like a constant reminder that, hey, we're still making progress. You're still going to have those conversations with them, because detoxifying for a certain amount of time is fucking hard, right? Like certain detoxifications is extremely invasive for a lot of people that aren't accustomed to that, right? Getting them to exercise a certain amount of time can be difficult, right? So literally having that conversation, that's the only thing that you might have difficult conversations with, but you'll have less of it because they know what type of condition they're in. That's why they're coming to you in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like to always tell them like the time's going to pass anyway. So you can continue to feel like shit for the next 6 to 12 months and look like crap and not meet your goals, or you can work slowly at it. Like
100%.
I don't care what you do. You can.
Yeah, it's totally up to you. You are the decision maker in this, right? So if we make healthier decisions, will you feel better significantly faster? Yes. If you continue to do where you're currently at, we're continuously going to push ourselves back extra months, extra years. Are you willing to feel like shit for one more year? Are you willing to? Because that's where we're at right now if you don't start taking my protocol seriously. Simple conversations, breaking down to where it makes sense to them. Retention module. This is where we want to keep people for long periods of time, but we want to advance them to higher levels of your programming. So we'll give you retention strategies, and we'll even teach you how to track that. Now, you mentioned hiring a virtual assistant. This will happen when you're hitting about 10 to 12K per month on a regular basis. We'll show you exactly what virtual assistants do. They do all your back-end administration work, but we'll also show you how to manage them on a day-to-day basis, keep in track with them, track their level of efficiency, and we'll even give you resources on where to find them when and if you want to make that hire. Okay. Now, the last major hire, if you're trying to scale past 15K, 20K, you need to start thinking about bringing on your first assistant coach. This will be the individual that works directly underneath you. They take on their own clients, but you get paid a portion. So you mentioned earlier, I don't want to have to train someone. There are other assistant coaches out there that will be willing to happily take an assistant job because they don't want to have a whole business of their own. So that's just networking in different groups. Like if you go on Facebook groups, you can literally customize your search and you'll find somebody that wants that type of position. And then you have you're able to interview them. Obviously, interviewing the person, they're going to be representing you and your company. So we want them to match, like, ideally with your characteristics, your values, your morals, because again, they represent you and your company. So we'll show you how to hire them, how to manage them, and more importantly, keep them in line with your company vision. Okay. I did a shit ton of talking. We're going to do a quick recap and we'll answer any questions you got. Cool.
Yeah. Are you going to tell me how much it costs?
Yes, we're going to get there. That's the fun stuff. I'm going to save that for the end.
Okay.
All right. So it's a 6-month program. We got your customized game planning call. We're going to have a private one-on-one coach the entire 6 months. You'll have one-on-one coaching calls every 2 weeks. You're going to have that Facebook community CEO trainings 5 times a week of group support calls. You'll also have the 24/5 tech support. You'll have the business course curriculum as well. You already have the certification. Anything at all you feel like we're missing here?
No, you don't have to go to all 5 of those group calls, do you?
No. Ideally, if you can make it to like 2 a week, you're in a good spot, because they do cover a lot that most people don't even think about when running a business. So like the mindset calls, I'd strongly recommend attending those. If you struggle with sales, there are specific topics they'll discuss. The ones that you struggle with the most are the ones that I'd probably be attending.
And is the topic like each day is this like whatever topic?
Yeah, so there'll be days laid out already, so you already know ahead of time like what the topic is going to be.
Okay.
And those will also be recorded. So if you can't make those calls there, you can also watch them via recorded.
Okay.
Cool. Did you get a chance to check out any testimonials?
No, but I don't really want to.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
okay.
Cool. Yeah, 100%. It's your
I
world.
watched the video on the homework and
Okay.
got like the statistics of what you were talking about earlier.
Okay.
The first month 8K, the averages and all of that.
Cool. So you got this right here, right? The averages. So this is kind of cool because this kind of lines up with you. The students who stay with us 12 months have 97 clients on their roster on average. That means if you have 97 clients on average, the average people that have this amount are making $366,000 a month, which is crazy. I'm sorry, $366,000 a year. Jesus, Jeremy. But if you had 97 clients and you're charging right around $400 per month, that's equivalent to $38,000 a month. That's a lot of money, right? You can do a lot of stuff with that.
I could do like live on that for a whole year, probably.
Easily, right? Of the students who hit a 10K month, it takes them 13 weeks on average just to do so. So the ones that are doing this, doing it in just over 90 days.
How many do that though?
It's going to be kind of based upon like what their price points are. So every coach kind of charges something differently. We have it to where our bare minimum is really about 300 per service at the bare minimum. We're trying to get people that are more interested in charging higher ticket offers based upon the value that you're bringing. So again, like you shouldn't be charging 250 or 300. You're doing a lot of shit for people, right? This is cool too. You kind of already started like your full online business, but for a lot of individuals, on average, it takes just 10.6 weeks for people to quit their job and go full time in their online fitness business. That's pretty amazing, to be honest. So in just over 90 days, people are like going full time in this thing. Okay? As far as averages, any questions on that?
No, I mean, just other than how many of the students have reached 10K a month?
I'd have to find that out. I don't know the exact specification of that. All I can say is the averages right here, people are loving the program. So I can find that out.
50% or more than 50%, do you think?
I have no idea. I don't want to quote something I don't know for sure. But if you want, I can get that information. I can definitely text it over to you.
I'd like it.
Yeah, I'll find out. Give me 2 seconds. So hopefully by the end of this, I can give you that statistic. Give me 2 seconds. You asked how many total students have hit 10K?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like how many percentage wise of total students enrolled, like ever? What's the percent that reach 10K? Even one time, even if they do it one time, that's still one time more than I've ever done it.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm just tagging someone here on this. All right. Hopefully by the end of this, I'll have that statistic for you. Just text some people. Cool. All right. So next we're going to move into the finances, right? How much is this thing going to cost us? Did you get that picture that I sent you? I think I sent it to you. The 2 guarantees?
Yeah.
Perfect. So one is a revenue guarantee. So one's basically stating you're going to hit an 8K a month in your first 90 days where 25% of your contract's refunded. Obviously, some terms and conditions to that, right? Got to attend your game planning call.
8K a month in your first 90 days?
You will hit an 8K month you'll hit an 8K month in your first 90 days. So either in month 1, 2, or 3.
And if not, 25% is refunded?
25% of your contract's refunded. So terms and conditions of that is you have to attend your game planning call. You got to attend at least 2 group calls per week. You got to attend all of your one-on-one coaching calls. These are all standard stuff that you should be doing anyways if we're investing, right? Complete all the actions, how to get your first client in 21 days module, and all the actions associated. 50% of your course material completed. Charge at least $300 per services and have no late payments. Okay, pretty basic. Now the second one is a revenue or is an investment guarantee. We're going to tell you you're going to 3 times your investment in your enrollment term or get a 100% money back guarantee. So terms and conditions are very similar. Says you have to complete 100% of your course material, have no late payments at all. Okay, charge at least the bare minimum suggested prices. Okay, so again, exact same standards besides the difference is 100% of your course material, right? And attending at least all of your one-on-one coaching calls and 2 group calls per week, basic stuff. So if you do those things, show up, just do the work that's required, we guarantee you'll hit an 8K month and you'll 3 times the amount you invested in. So a lot of companies will have money back guarantees. I have yet to find a company that will guarantee you're going to make a specific amount of money. Does that make us feel a little bit more confident?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So before we move forward, I want you to know there's going to be a payment plan. Okay. So that means we can put a down payment and then we can spread it out over 6 months. We can do bi-monthly payments, whatever the case may be. Or we can do a paid in full, which we just pay everything up front and save a lot of money and it's done. Okay. We also have extended payment plans, financing options, the whole nine. So no matter where you're at, we have something for you if this is truly something you feel like you want to move forward with. Okay. Now, before we move forward, can you give me like a rundown on exactly what online coaching is going to give you specifically?
Like in terms of financial freedom or?
Yeah, all that. Like, I want you to give me a rundown on exactly what this was going to do for you, specifically just you.
Give me the time and presence with my children that I would like to, and like presence I say because like I won't be stressed or worried about finances, and then we can do what we want when we want to.
I love that. And is this still
Like freedom, a lot of freedom. I am a very pro freedom in all aspects. So like I like to be able to do and be whatever I want, wherever I want, whenever I want.
Yeah, 100%. Do you feel like this is going to give you that opportunity to do that?
I hope so.
Okay, so you mentioned you hope so. Why don't you know? What's the one thing that you're not 100% sure of?
Just like how I would make like structure everything to incorporate all of the things that I want to incorporate.
So
without
that's what,
having to have a separate like entity for other stuff, like other health coaching pieces.
so this is exactly what that one-on-one coach is going to help you with. They're going to help you structure all that for you all into one nice, beautiful package with the bow on top.
Like, do people offer lab testing? Like, do you have coaches that do that? Like, as part of their, I don't know, monthly plan?
I mean, I haven't had a call with one yet. Now, I'm one of 5 enrollment specialists. So is there someone who's probably done it? Yes. Because I've seen it, like I've seen several different coaches online doing it, right? Can I say that I've spoken to one specifically outside of you? No. But the thing about it is the people that are actually assigned to you that would be your coach, these are people that have highly successful businesses. So they know the integral ins and outs. So they have a ton of stuff that they're offering. Are some of them exactly hormonal and doing like lab testing? Not all of them. However, they know exactly how to help scale that for you and how to present it and how to put that together to where it's going to make sense for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was my hang up there.
So do we feel pretty confident about that now?
If they can help me.
Oh, they're going to help you. So this is something that you're not ever going to have to do completely on your own, right? So they're going to go over.
The tech is like overwhelming, but
100%. So they're going to make it to where we dummy it down and make it easy. So for instance, when I went through it, if I can go through it, you can do it.
Do they help with sales funnels and all of that? Did we talk about
all of that? Yes. Yep.
And like how to onboard people? That's a part of it.
Yep. So we went over the onboarding. So remember the onboarding is that transition from the sales call to now that you're
like a client. In terms of tech, they help you with like the how to get them their email after they purchase thing. Like.
Yep. We show you exactly how to lay that out so it's streamlined for you.
Okay. Yeah. The whole like streamlining thing is my hang issue.
So this is exactly what we do for people. So a lot of people come with very similar issues and they want the most smoothest, effective way to get them from point A to B, right? We show them exactly how to do that in the easiest way possible.
I don't want to be asked something right now.
I want some play.
Sure. Gotta do it anyways.
Sure. All right, so are we feeling a little bit better now?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. The investment piece. What's this going to cost us? Okay. It's only $100,000 in your left kidney. That's it.
Perfect.
I'm playing. We have a payment plan of $7,500. We have a paid in full option to save you $700 at $6,800. Out of those two, which do you think works best for you?
I mean, not paid in full, unfortunately.
Cool. That's so 90% of people will usually go with the payment plan. What I do, right? So we have a couple ways of breaking this down. So for instance, the average student will put down roughly around 2K. So you minus that over 7,500, that's 5,500. Divide that over 6 months. That's equivalent to about $917 per month, which is equivalent to you needing about 3 to 5 clients, depending what you're charging.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Your screen's frozen though, but I can hear you.
Yeah, it is frozen. It says Zoom needs to restart, but I told my computer no.
As long as you can see my screen, that's all that's important.
Yeah. Okay. It's 6 months. And then you said there's extended payment plans too. Is that the extended one?
Nope. So that I'm kind of like we'll work our way back. So is as far as 2,000 something that's like totally not doable for you?
2,000 down is fine, but
you want, so let's just go over all the options. Okay. So $2,000 is fine. Cool. All right. So what is our credit looking like? Is it good, great, poor? What are we looking like?
I would say it's good. But I don't want to put anything on my credit right now until I rent or buy another house,
Cool. I get that concern.
which
So
will be
what
in like a month and a half.
Cool. So what I'm suggesting is we have this financing company called Fund My Contract. Okay. They're great because what we can do is we can get you approved for the paid in full amount, which would save you $700. Your first payment wouldn't even be due for 30 days. So there's nothing due for the first 30 days. And more importantly, it allows us to take that paid in full amount and turn it into payment plans anywhere from like 1 to 7 years. The beautiful thing about this is the program itself is 6 months long. So their options are 6 and 12 months, same as cash. So if we pay this off before whichever option that you choose or you get approved for, there's 0 interest.
Okay.
So what I suggest is we try that to see what like hand we have to play with. Okay, so we want to kind of exhaust all of our resources. And then from there, we can I have other options that I think would work well for you as well, if that wasn't to work, but I kind of like to see exactly what we have to work with, if that makes sense.
Yes, but I don't want to run my credit yet.
So this won't affect your credit at all. It's just a soft credit check to see what you get approved for.
Okay.
Now, if you're like, I don't want to touch my credit at all, totally get that. But what we could do, obviously, is if we do, let's say, for instance, if you put 2,000 down, if you'd like, I can even add an additional month to that. So let me pull out my calculator because my math is, again, terrible. It's 200 minus 2,000. We're going to divide this by 7. So that would get your
785.
So 7,500 minus 2,000 is 5,500. Instead of dividing it by 6, we're going to divide it by 7 months. Okay, so your monthly payment would be equivalent to 785, which is equivalent to you needing roughly about 2 clients.
And that's like pretty much guaranteed, right?
What's that? 2 clients?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for instance,
do the things.
Yep. If you do exactly as we laid out. Okay. So this is the thing too. You're already been into coaching, so you have a leg up on the competition. If you were someone that comes in brand new, never been a trainer, never had any experience, I'd say, is it possible for you to get, 2 clients in the first month if you were brand new and it had 0 results? It's possible, but is it likely? No. For someone like you that's been in the game now for over 3 years, and you understand, like you've been on the side of in-person and you've been on the side of like running your own business now for 3 years, yes, that's very possible. Is it going to take some work? Yes, but if you show up every day and do exactly as we have laid out, you can easily get that. And we'd also be utilizing people that you already have like a warm presence with.
Okay. Are you, okay, you're still there. It's like,
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening to you. Is that something you feel like you could commit to?
yes, but I still need to think about it more.
Sure.
Is
So
that okay?
no, 100%. So I don't mind you thinking about that at all, but I would rather us think about it together because this is what's going to happen. Okay.
Wait,
So,
hold on.
yep.
Pause really quick. So if I did the payment plan, like the whatever 2,000 down and then paid it, but that doesn't go on my credit, or does it?
No,
So that's just like an agreement.
correct. You just have to make your payment each
Right.
month.
So it's like it comes out of my account every month, and that's
Correct.
it's just like an auto pay type of thing, but it's
Exactly.
like something that's on my credit, like a debt that I owe.
No, it'd be an monthly auto pull.
Okay.
So that there's nothing that's going to be affecting your credit there.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if that feels good, what we could do as well, I'm going to offer you something else. So there's two things I've offered you that I don't offer. One, an extended payment plan on the payment plan itself, which I haven't done. So essentially I'm spreading that out over almost, if you put a down payment down a day and I spread that over 7 months, I'm basically giving you 8 months to pay that off on a 6-month program. The second option is if we're at 2,000 and that's something that you feel comfortable with, if you want to put down 2,500, we could turn that paid in full option into a split payment. So we put 2,500 down today. I'd give you 90 days to pay out that remaining amount, which would line up perfectly with your 90-day guarantee as well.
So you would do the paid in full?
Correct. So you'd save $100. You'd save $700. So we'd be at that 6,800, but you put down 2,500 a day. I'd give you 90 days to pay out that remaining amount.
Which would be,
Let me do that for you because I have my calculator out. Let's go 6,800 minus 2,500. So your remaining amount would be 4,300 that would be due in 90 days.
why would it be 4,300 instead of 4,800?
6,800 minus 25.
Oh, I have to put 2,500 down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the minimum amount I would be allowed to put down to turn that into a split.
Okay.
Typically, when they do a split, they usually ask for half. So I'm, again, trying to accommodate you and get you rolling.
Okay. I know that this is all part of the sales process, and I'm probably not the ideal person to be selling to right now because I'm so apprehensive. And I think I normally wouldn't be, but with this move coming up, like I need to make sure that I have the amount, like I have to pay a whole year lease upfront or buy a house. So like, because I don't have, my credit is okay. Like my credit is in the high 6s, I would say, but it's, my IRS, like what the IRS says I made for income is not enough to like prove 3 times income on a place I rent. So I'm going to have to rent a place and pay for the whole lease with cash.
Sure, totally get
So I'm
that.
like, the time right now is just not ideal for me to spend $7,500 or $6,800, knowing that in a month I'm going to have to spend like $25,000 at least to rent a house.
100% get that. Yeah, that should be a scary thing, right? This whole process, regardless if you're getting a house or not, should be a scary thing, right? However, this is what I want us to think about, right? Our goal itself is to get to 10K months. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Our goal is to get complete financial freedom. And you said more importantly, freedom, period, to do what you want, be who you want, when you want, travel, things of that nature, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so my question to you would be, we could wait a month, right? But however, there's never going to be a right time, because in a month from now, something else could happen. Heaven forbid one of the kiddos gets sick or something else happens. If we didn't wait a month, we actually took action, you could have all of your systems, all the things already kind of set up and already streamlined. So you're already making money by the time you make that move to Texas. And when you're moving in,
Potentially. But I also have to move, like pack and move, and not really have a whole lot of time to devote to really, I guess, anything, but I need to. Like I'm in a pickle because I need to do this and also know that this is going to be very stressful just logistically,
okay,
period. And yeah, I know.
okay, so I got a couple options I think will work for you. If you're willing to get resourceful, and what I mean by that is we get creative together, we can figure out something that makes sense for you, that allows you to get started, but it also relieves a little bit of the tension that you're feeling. Okay, so what we could do is, again, if you did the paid in full split, you have 90 days. Now, this is the catch that I'm going to throw in for you. We can lock in with the low rate that I'm giving you now, which I don't offer. We can lock that in. We can have a delayed start date, which means you wouldn't have to make that second 90-day payment till 90 days of your actual start date. So for instance, let's pretend that you were like, I want to do this. I got to do this. I'm going to do something special for you. We could do a delayed start date. You put down your 2,500 delayed start date. I'd give you course access immediately, but you wouldn't have your actual day one of your actual program toward your 6 months until, let's just pretend that you didn't want to do it till, like, I don't know what day you're moving, but let's just say June. Okay. That would be your first day. You wouldn't have to pay that second remainder from 90 days from your actual first start date. So this allows you to have the course access. It allows you to like thumb through the material, get a head start familiarizing yourself, getting things already set up. So by the time you actually have your one-on-one coaching call, your first call with your coach, you already have a ton of shit already knocked down.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Well, I got to make something to where you win.
I know.
My main thing that I took away from this was, you said you're at a level 10 of importance and you're like, I need to make money now. This is the option to get you to CAP 2.0.
Did you ever find out how many people made it to
Oh,
tech?
Let me see. Let me check. Let's see. So they said that they can't get that information. They're going to have to go back through 3 years of data. So it's going to take us a while to figure out exactly how many people actually hit a 10K month, but they will get that information, because this is the second time that I know that I've asked about that as well. Now, what I can tell you, if this helps you out, is we've helped over 3,000 students. And with those guarantees in place, we've only had to return 1.6%. It's a pretty damn good batting average.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you just do the work, you've got a phenomenal niche going on. Like, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to talk with you. I had really a fun time thinking of strategy and learning more about your story. I think there's going to be a lot of women that you're going to greatly impact. A lot of that financial freedom and the opportunity to be the woman that you've always saw yourself to be.
Thank you. Okay. So then the 4,300, if I did the delayed start payment plan thing,
Mhm.
the 90 days, can I like pay on that like little by little throughout the 90 days, or do I have to make like one lump sum payment at the but in the 90 days.
No, you can pay it off little by little. It just has to be paid. The second half of it has to be paid by that 90th day from your start date.
Or else what?
Then you'd have late payments. So you don't want to have late payments, like, right? That's part of the deal to get the $700.
Yeah.
So I don't want you thinking of, what if I don't make it? There should be no reason why you're not if you're doing the work. If you can
Oh, yeah.
dictate anywhere between 10 to 20 hours per week, you're in an extremely great spot. 15 to 20 or 20 hours or more, you're in a very dangerous spot of massive success. So that the individuals, again, that are super successful are the ones that, again, accompany those 3 C's. They're committed to the process, even on the days they don't want to do it. They're coachable, which means that they can take, constructive feedback and digest it and implement change. And then they're also consistent, which means they're going to do the non-negotiables every single day, no matter what the circumstances. They're not going to make excuses. They are the ones that are willing to find any way possible to be successful, which means, could that be one more sales call? That could be one more module. That could just be doing the intangibles. The main thing I want you to think about is your 5 kids, because you are setting a precedence. They are watching everything you do. My kids, even my daughters, watch every single thing I do, how I integrate with other people, how I act, and if my actions are aligned with what I'm saying. So you have a great opportunity to show kids that, like, you can create massive success with your own skill set, with your own knowledge, that you have the ability to create a life that you want, and it doesn't have to be dictated by someone else.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you don't want me to not sign up right now, but can we talk again? Not this long, but like, I just want to talk to somebody about this, because I have a very like trusted person who can, like, is very encouraging of me taking risks, but like, I need to figure out which risk to take. But I'm leaning towards this program because the other one is like double the price and it's to create a course. But I'm thinking, if I can get myself off the ground here and making money, then I can spend that money there later and do that when I'm getting income. That's my line of thought right now.
I like your line of thought. The only thing that I would probably respectfully disagree with or challenge you with is, it's hard to talk with someone that doesn't see your vision or doesn't understand the space that you're in.
Oh,
So
he
yes, you
totally
can
does. Totally does.
Okay, so yes, you can totally talk with them. However, I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of the people, and I can say this because I was one of the 90%, the ones that get off the phone typically don't come back. It took me several months for me to go through this, the second call. So if this has everything that you need to be successful, right? So let me ask that. After seeing everything, after our conversation, after the support and education that you're going to be receiving, do you feel 100% confident this is going to give you the results that you're looking for?
I don't know. I need to like
So
feel about it more. I have my human design. My human design requires me to ride my emotional wave. Like, usually, like, to sleep on something is how I make decisions best and like most aligned. Otherwise, like, I enter into things in a really off kilter way. So I need to honor that for myself. But I need that clarity, I guess, first. It feels good right now,
yeah,
but I also know that I am susceptible to the emotional wave of my human design. And
I completely agree with that. Now, however, you're also, when you sleep on it, or when someone tells me they need to think about it, it's a couple of reasons. One, they're not 100% sold that they can fully commit to what it takes for them to be successful. Because a lot of people are scared when it comes down to, oh shit, this is fully on me. I have no one else to blame. So becoming an entrepreneur and being massively successful does require another level of discipline. I'm not saying this isn't you, right?
no,
I'm
I
just saying
think
this.
that is partially me. I think that might be partially me too. I think I definitely have some self-limiting crap, but
So what
which
I
is
need
why
you,
I want to talk to this person, because they're usually reassuring of like, yeah, no, you can do it because of like all of this evidence, and then I get like, I feel better about it, about spend. It's like, I don't feel like I'm valuable enough to spend that money on myself. You know?
So how I would challenge you on that is, are your kids valuable enough for you to spend that money on yourself? Do they deserve it? If you're not gonna do it for yourself, do it for them. You already mentioned that you're at a 10 of importance. You're tired of struggling. You have a lot of financial things coming up that requires you to have, more income and more opportunities and more freedom. So if you don't feel like you're worth it, can you at least agree that your 5 kiddos are?
Yes, for sure.
So as
But
far
then,
as
like, do I have the ability to do what it takes to make this worth it? Like, there's the hang up.
so I'd say to that, if you feel like you were getting assisted, so you have that 24/5 tech support, you have every 2 weeks phone calls, you have the private Facebook group, and then you have the own skill set. So far, I would venture to say that all the knowledge that you've gathered so far on your own, that probably at one point in time you felt like it was extremely overwhelming. The shit that you know now, it's not something easy that you learn overnight. So you've already actually been battle tested several times. I want you to think back to 1 or 2 occasions where you're like, fuck, this is impossible. I'm never going to get through this. And then you prove to yourself that you could, just with the knowledge that you have for wanting to help other women. That's something that doesn't come easily, right? You've managed to start your online business, but now we're at a standstill. You have pieces to the puzzle, but now we need to figure out where we can actually fit those pieces.
Yes.
So this is exactly what that does. So as far as reassurance and statistical data goes, because I know you're big on that, again, right now, 3,000 students have been helped, okay? It's a lot of people. You have the 2 guarantees in place, which no other company has. You mentioned our prices are significantly less, but we also provide more value. The thing that also separates us from other companies is our level of
Well, I don't know
one-on-one
about the
support.
value part. I mean, in terms of the other program, but the amount that I could probably extract from this could provide me with income. Probably, I don't know about to the level of that one, but it could provide me with enough to where I could buy that program later. Like, it feels like it might make sense to do this first to get this stream of income automated as much as possible, and then go there when I'm more financially stable.
Yeah, so this will provide it to where you're not financially stable, but provide where you're financially free. The other thing I want to remind you of is we're approved through the Better Business Bureau, which is like a report card for businesses. A through an F, we got an A. So that means anyone that has a complaint, they're all reviewed. We actually leave those comments up. We also talk through those issues. So far, we haven't lost an investigation yet. So if you're looking at businesses, there's hardly anyone in the online space within like the fitness community that are associated with the Better Business Bureau. We're also partnered or accredited through 3 of the largest certification companies in the world. Partnered with True Coach is by far one of the largest apps for the online fitness space as well. So I want you to kind of take those into consideration when you're thinking about what things are legitimate and what's not. Now, as far as what this other course can do to help you provide to making a course is going to take significant amounts of time. So you're right. We want to help you create a business that's going to help you get yourself seen and noticed and provide credentials. So going through this can actually provide you the know-how and the ability to actually know how and when to market that type of course that you might go through later.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So when can we talk again? Because I'm not going to buy right now, but I am very, very close. And I wouldn't tell you that if I wasn't. Like, I'm very honest.
Sure.
And I feel quite good about this. I just need to talk.
Sure.
To
What do you have available tomorrow?
I have 9:15 a.m. to 11 or Eastern time. I don't know what time zone you're in, but I have that time or after 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay, so you said, let's see.
I'm sorry,
What?
I'm just feeling rushed right now because I have to go get my kids from
No,
the
no.
babysitter. So that's why I'm like, I still do want to talk about this, but I need to do that. And I don't want to like just say no, because I don't feel like I want to say no. But I also
Sure.
don't want to say yes because I'm feeling rushed and I
No,
just,
100%. I'm on board with you there. You said you have from 9 to 11 open tomorrow?
yeah, Eastern time.
Okay. So I'm Central Standard, so I have, hold on. Someone just told me to cancel something, which might open that up for you. And then I'll make sure you're able to get rolling. I don't want to like get you late for what you got going on. Let's see here. Give me 2 minutes. I'm just trying to figure out where they just put that at.
Sorry, car. Where?
What?
I said car. And are you watching YouTube?
Yeah, what is
You are not welcome to watch YouTube. Get your rear end in the car.
Mom? Can I start?
When we get back. You
I know you got to get going. Do you mind if I text you when I find out like which person they told me to remove from I might have something open at those times, but I'm trying to find it. I know that you're in a rush right now, so I don't want to hold you up.
Yeah, that's fine. And then if not tomorrow, I have all day Wednesday. 9 to 4 Eastern time.
Oh, okay, cool. So for right now, let's tentatively put something in for Wednesday. Does Wednesday work better for you?
I mean, I don't have to rush at all, but yeah.
Okay. Why don't we do how do you feel about you said 9 to 4 on Wednesday? Why don't we do how about do you want to go so let's go
Afternoon-ish is better. I usually train in the morning for a while.
Okay. Do you want to go 2 p.m. Eastern time?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna put you in there, and that call won't nearly be as long. We're just gonna kind of figure out what works for you. That also gives you time to talk with your friend. How about I also hook you up with a previous student that went through our course, and you can ask them as many questions as you like as well.
Sure.
Would you be open to that?
Yeah.
Cool.
How?
So are you on WhatsApp at all?
No.
Okay, not a problem. So if you get I'll send you a 3-way text. It's going to be me saying, Kat, what's up? It's Jeremy. Thank you for our call today. I have coach such and such on here. You can set up like a 5-minute phone call, 10-minute phone, whatever it is you need, and you can grill them with as many questions as you like.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yes.
All right, cool. So for right now, I have it set up for 10 p.m. Eastern time Wednesday. So if you want to lock me in.
10 p.m.
No, I'm sorry, 2 p.m.
Okay.
2 p.m.
I am in bed. I'm gonna
2 p.m.
sleep.
Eastern time on Wednesday. But if I find that I have an opening tomorrow at between 9 and 11, I'll shoot to see which one works best for you, if that's cool.
Perfect. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Any other questions you have for me?
No.
All right. Well, let's for sure commit to this phone call, and then
Definitely. I'm not an asshole. Like I'll take the phone call. Even if I'm gonna say no, I'm not gonna ghost you.
Okay.
Like
Well,
I just don't like that energetic exchange and I don't want that to happen to me. So
I appreciate you. In the meantime, if there's anything that comes up, That's my specific number, so feel free to text me with any questions or concerns, but I'll make sure I get you hooked up here shortly, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, you have an awesome day.
You too.